Merry Christmas.
Gotham City was a rare sight in the winter, its usual grim, crime-ridden streets softened by a fresh layer of snow, holiday lights flickering on every corner, and wreaths adorning the windows of shops and apartments. The city seemed at peace, but anyone familiar with Gotham knew this peace was fragile. A single crack, and chaos could spread like wildfire. Hidden away in a forgotten part of the city, far from the festive cheer, a storm was brewing. Deep inside an abandoned toy factory, long shuttered and overtaken by decay, sat the Joker, the clown, prince of crime. The factory, once bustling with joy and imagination, had been warped into a lair of madness, its assembly lines now used to manufacture death and destruction instead of toys. Joker leaned back in a dusty, once bright red chair, his lips twisted into a wide manic grin as he admired the festive decorations he had strewn about the place. Strings of lights blinked erratically, casting eerie shadows across the factory floor. Tinsel hung like nooses from the rafters, and ornaments, repurposed as bombs, glittered ominously under the dim glow of overhead bulbs. Christmas was coming, but it wasn't the kind of Christmas Gotham expected. Ah, Christmas, Joker mused aloud, his voice soft and mocking. The most wonderful time of the year, when everyone is so nice and cheerful. But what fun is that? He picked up a snow globe from a nearby table, shaking it idly as he stared at the tiny winter scene inside. A quaint, peaceful Gotham. Joker's grin widened as the snow swirled inside the glass. "I've been nice all year," he said to himself, his tone dripping with sarcasm. But that big, red fool, Santa Claus, never gives me what I want. Joker slammed the snow globe onto the ground, shattering it into pieces. His laughter echoed through the factory, high-pitched and maniacal, filling the air with a sense of impending doom. Joker had long been fascinated by the idea of Christmas, a time of joy and giving, when even the darkest of places seemed to brighten. But it disgusted him. The very concept of cheer and goodwill went against everything he stood for. And this year, he wasn't going to let Gotham celebrate in peace. No, this year, he was going to bring the city a different kind of Christmas. One filled with chaos, destruction, and terror. Joker's eyes gleamed with excitement as he turned to his henchmen, a group of twisted, loyal followers, dressed in demented versions of Santa suits, blood red, tattered, and stained with grime. "Boys," Joker said, clapping his hands together, "it's time to bring a little holiday cheer to Gotham. Load up the gifts and don't forget the special ones, those that go boom when you open them." His henchmen snickered as they began packing boxes, beautifully wrapped Christmas presents with shiny bows. But inside each box was a deadly surprise. Joker had filled them with explosives, Joker gas, and other lethal tricks. These presents weren't meant to spread joy. They were meant to cause fear and death. Joker strutted through the factory, picking up a particularly large gift and shaking it next to his ear. He grinned. "Oh, this one's going to be a blast." As the preparations continued, Joker's thoughts turned to Santa Claus. He had always resented the jolly figure, someone who could grant wishes, bring happiness, and make people believe in magic. It had infuriated Joker that someone like Santa could exist. Why should Santa be adored while Joker was feared? But Joker had a plan. He knew he wasn't on Santa's nice list. In fact, he was likely at the top of the naughty list. But that wasn't going to stop him. If Santa wouldn't give Joker what he wanted, then Joker would take it. He would become Santa Claus himself, Only his version of Santa would be far more dangerous. As night fell over Gotham, the city streets were still bustling with last-minute holiday shoppers. Families strolled down snow-covered sidewalks, their arms full of bags and gifts, eager to get home and enjoy the warmth of the season. But the air of peace was quickly shattered. Without warning, groups of deranged Joker Santas began appearing all over the city, laughing maniacally as they handed out gifts to unsuspecting citizens. These men, dressed in Joker's twisted version of a Santa suit, were armed with presents that exploded when opened, filling the air with toxic Joker gas. Panic erupted in the streets as the first bombs went off, the gas spreading through the crowds like a wave of terror. People screamed as they fled, covering their mouths, trying to escape the deadly fog. The once festive, cheerful atmosphere turned into chaos within minutes. In the Batcave, Bruce Wayne watched in horror as reports of the attacks flooded in. His computer screen showed live footage from surveillance cameras across Gotham, families running in panic, smoke rising from exploded presents, and the twisted, laughing Santas wreaking havoc. "This is Joker," Bruce muttered, his face set in a grim expression. "He's turning Christmas into a nightmare." Alfred, standing nearby, nodded solemnly. "It seems Joker has a particularly festive plan in mind this time, Master Wayne. I'm afraid Gotham's holiday spirit won't last much longer if he has his way." Bruce wasted no time. He activated the Bat computer, pulling up the locations of the attacks, analyzing Joker's pattern. It was clear Joker wasn't just spreading chaos at random. There was a method to his madness. The attacks were all happening near key parts of the city, places that could cause the most damage if left unchecked. Bruce donned the Batsuit, his mind racing with questions. Why was Joker doing this now? And what was his endgame? There had to be more to it than simple chaos. Joker always had a larger plan, a punchline to his twisted joke. "Send out the Batmobile," Batman ordered, his voice hard. "I'm going to stop this before Joker ruins Christmas for good." While Batman sped through the streets of Gotham, trying to contain the chaos, Joker was putting the final pieces of his plan into motion. He had tracked down the one person who could give him what he wanted: Santa Claus. Hidden deep in the magical recesses of Gotham, Santa's workshop was a place few could find. But Joker wasn't just anyone. With his unique blend of madness and cunning, he had managed to locate Santa's lair, and now, standing in the snow-covered clearing, he grinned with twisted satisfaction. Santa, sensing the darkness approaching, stepped out of his workshop, his eyes narrowing as he spotted Joker standing there grinning from ear to ear. "Joker," Santa said, his voice firm but filled with warmth. "What are you doing here?" Joker spread his arms wide, laughing. "Oh, come now, Claus. I've been so good this year. Surely you've got a little something for me in that big, magical bag of yours." Santa frowned. "You're on the naughty list, Joker. I can't give you what you want." Joker's grin faltered, his eyes narrowing with rage. "Naughty list? Me? Oh, Santa, you disappoint me." With a flick of his wrist, Joker pulled out a gift-wrapped box, opening it to reveal a deadly canister of Joker gas. Santa's eyes widened in horror as Joker released the gas, the deadly green cloud enveloping him. "Let's see you laugh your way out of this one," Joker sneered, as Santa fell to his knees, coughing and choking on the gas. Within moments, the jolly old man was dead, his once rosy cheeks pale and lifeless. Joker stepped over Santa's body, kicking the sack of gifts aside. "Looks like there's a new Santa in town." He grabbed Santa's magical sack, feeling the power surge through him. For the first time, Joker wasn't just a criminal, he was Santa Claus. And with Santa's power, he could finally spread the kind of Christmas cheer he had always dreamed of, one filled with fear, chaos, and destruction. As Joker hoisted the sack over his shoulder, his laughter echoed through the clearing, mingling with the cold winter wind. "Merry Christmas, Gotham! Ho, ho, ho!" Gotham City had never seen a Christmas like this. What should have been a peaceful, snowy night, filled with holiday cheer, had turned into a nightmare. Joker's deadly Christmas gifts had already torn through the city, spreading fear and panic wherever they were delivered. The streets were littered with debris, smoke rising from the twisted remains of once beautiful decorations. Sirens blared through the air as emergency responders tried, in vain, to contain the chaos. Above it all, high in the Gotham sky flew Joker claws. Perched in a sleigh unlike any other, Joker commanded his dark Christmas from the air, laughing maniacally as he soared over the city in the twisted remains of Santa's enchanted sleigh. The reindeer, once magical creatures guiding Santa through the night, had been replaced with grotesque mechanical versions, robotic beasts that whirred and clanked, their red eyes glowing ominously. Strings of lights dangled from the sleigh, flickering in and out, casting eerie shadows over Gotham's streets. But the sleigh wasn't filled with presents meant to bring joy. Instead, Joker had packed it full of bombs, deadly gadgets, and twisted toy-like weapons designed to cause maximum destruction. And with Santa's magical powers now coursing through him, Joker was more dangerous than ever. "Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas, Gotham!" Joker's voice boomed from above, amplified through speakers rigged to the sleigh. His cackling laughter echoed through the streets, sending shivers down the spines of anyone who heard it. "I've got gifts for all the boys and girls, and you're going to love what I've brought you." Below him, Gotham's citizens scrambled for safety, diving for cover as Joker began raining down his deadly gifts. Explosive presents hurtled through the sky, crashing into buildings, cars, and streets. Each one detonated on impact, sending shockwaves through the city and filling the air with fire and debris. Panic erupted in every corner of Gotham. Children who had once been excited for Christmas now huddled in fear with their parents, watching in horror as the nightmarish Santa wreaked havoc. The streets that had been adorned with Christmas lights and festive decorations were now littered with broken glass, burning Christmas trees, and shattered ornaments. Joker reveled in the chaos, standing tall in his sleigh, dressed in his dark Santa suit. His green hair spilled out from beneath the red hat, and his eyes glowed with madness as he watched the city burn. "This is the best Christmas ever," Joker shouted, tossing more explosive gifts down at the fleeing citizens. "Who needs mistletoe when you've got missiles?" Gotham's police force was overwhelmed. Officers raced through the city, trying to respond to the growing number of explosions, but they were no match for Joker's flying sleigh and his seemingly endless supply of deadly presents. With each explosion, more chaos spread, and the once cheerful city descended into anarchy. Inside the Gotham Police Department, Commissioner James Gordon stood at the center of the command room, barking orders at his officers as he watched the unfolding disaster on a series of monitors. "We need to get people off the streets," Gordon shouted, his face pale with stress. "I don't care how. We need to evacuate as many as we can before that lunatic turns the whole city into a war zone." One of the officers, his face drawn with fear, looked up from his station. "Commissioner, we've already got officers down. He's everywhere." Gordon gritted his teeth, his hands balled into fists. "Where the hell is Batman?" Batman was already in motion. The Batmobile tore through Gotham's streets, weaving through the wreckage left in Joker's wake. The night sky above was a fiery orange, the glow of distant explosions reflecting off the snow-covered streets. Every corner Batman turned seemed to reveal more destruction. Buildings collapsed, cars overturned, and Gotham citizens running in terror. As he raced toward the center of the chaos, Batman's mind worked furiously. Joker had always been unpredictable, but this time, he had taken things to an entirely new level. With Santa's powers in his grasp, Joker wasn't just playing a sick game. He was threatening the entire city on a scale unlike anything Batman had ever faced before. "Alfred, I need the Batwing," Batman said into his comm, his voice tight with urgency. "Joker's flying Santa's sleigh. I can't stop him from the ground." Alfred's voice crackled through the comm. "Right away, sir. But I must warn you, if Joker truly has harnessed Santa's magic, this may be unlike anything you've encountered before." Batman clenched his jaw. "I'll find a way." As the Batmobile screeched to a halt in front of a crumbling department store, Batman leapt from the driver's seat, his cape billowing behind him. Above, he could see Joker's sleigh circling over the city like a dark omen, dropping more explosive gifts onto the terrified streets. "Joker," Batman growled under his breath. He fired his grappling hook, soaring up to a nearby rooftop to get a better vantage point. As he landed on the building, the Batwing roared overhead, its sleek black form cutting through the smoke-filled sky. Batman wasted no time, leaping into the cockpit as the Batwing swooped low. "Engage targeting systems," Batman commanded, his hands gripping the controls. "We're bringing that sleigh down." Joker, flying high above Gotham, was in the middle of one of his twisted holiday broadcasts, laughing maniacally into the camera as he tossed another bomb-laden gift toward the ground below. "And for you, little Timmy, here's a big surprise. Ho, ho, ho!" Joker threw his head back in laughter, his eyes wild with madness. But his laughter was cut short as the Batwing appeared in his path, its weapons locked onto the sleigh. "Well, well, well," Joker grinned, his voice dripping with mock excitement. "Look who decided to crash my Christmas party." Without hesitation, Joker pulled on the reins of his mechanical reindeer, steering the sleigh into a wild loop to avoid the Batwing's missiles. Explosions lit up the night sky as the two vehicles clashed in a deadly aerial battle, the sounds of gunfire and rocket blasts echoing over the city. Joker's sleigh, powered by Santa's magic, was fast and agile, darting through the sky with impossible speed. But Batman was relentless, pushing the Batwing to its limits as he tried to bring Joker down. "Come on, Batsy," Joker taunted, his voice amplified through the speakers. "You really think you can stop Santa Claus? I'm magic now. Ho, ho, ho." As Joker zigzagged through the sky, he hurled more explosive presents at the Batwing, each one narrowly missing its mark as Batman expertly dodged the attacks. But Batman wasn't here to play games. With a flick of his wrist, he activated the Batwing's targeting system, locking onto Joker's sleigh. He fired a series of precise missiles, each one hitting its mark. Joker's eyes widened as one of the mechanical reindeer exploded in a shower of sparks, sending the sleigh spiraling out of control. "No, my reindeer," Joker screeched, frantically trying to steer the sleigh. "You're ruining Christmas, Bats." The sleigh spun wildly, veering off course as smoke poured from the damaged reindeer. Joker struggled to maintain control, but it was too late. With a final, deafening explosion, the sleigh plummeted from the sky, crashing onto the rooftop of Gotham's tallest skyscraper. The crash sent a shockwave through the building, debris scattering across the rooftop as Joker crawled from the wreckage, his Santa suit torn and bloodied. But even in the face of defeat, Joker's grin never wavered. "Merry Christmas, Bats," he sneered, wiping blood from his mouth as he staggered to his feet. "Looks like you found me just in time for the final act." Batman landed on the rooftop moments later, his cape swirling in the wind. His eyes narrowed as he saw Joker standing near the wreckage of the sleigh, surrounded by the shattered remains of gifts, each one rigged to explode. "It's over, Joker," Batman growled, advancing toward him. "You've lost." Joker's laughter filled the air, maniacal and unhinged. "Lost? Oh, Batsy. You don't get it, do you? Christmas isn't about winning or losing, it's about giving." Joker reached into the wreckage and pulled out a large, brightly wrapped gift. With a twisted smile, he tossed it at Batman's feet. "Here's my gift to you." The gift exploded in a flash of light, but instead of shrapnel, it unleashed a surge of Santa's magic. A wave of green and red energy blasted through the air, wrapping around Joker like a shimmering aura. The power coursed through him, making him stronger, faster, unstoppable. "I am Santa now, Bats," Joker cackled, his eyes gleaming with madness. "And I've got one last gift for Gotham." Before Batman could react, Joker lunged at him, swinging a candy cane-shaped staff, imbued with magical energy. The two clashed in a brutal fight, exchanging blows on the icy rooftop. Each hit sent shockwaves through the air, as Joker used his newfound powers to gain the upper hand. The rooftop was silent except for the soft patter of snowflakes, which fell in steady drifts, covering the wreckage of Joker's sleigh in a thin blanket of white. The city below was in chaos, plumes of smoke rising from the aftermath of the destruction Joker had already caused. But here, on the rooftop, everything felt frozen in time. Batman stood over Joker, his chest heaving with exertion, his fists clenched. Joker, bloodied and beaten, lay sprawled across the broken sleigh, laughing through the pain. His Santa suit was torn, his face swollen from the earlier blows, yet somehow the maniacal grin remained, as though every punch had only fueled his twisted sense of victory. Batman's body trembled with barely contained rage. He looked down at his fists, both of them covered in blood. Joker's blood. The snow beneath them had begun to turn a sickly crimson, the white landscape slowly drowning in red. "Ho, ho, ho," Joker croaked, spitting blood, his laughter barely a rasp now. "What's the matter, Bats? Finally starting to see the joke?" Batman said nothing. His heart pounded in his chest as he stared down at Joker, his mind clouded by fury. He knew what he should do. He had to stop. He had to end this without becoming the monster Joker wanted him to be. But something in Joker's words, in that laugh, that never-ending laugh, kept pulling Batman deeper into the darkness. With a low growl, Batman grabbed Joker by the collar, hoisting him to his feet. "This ends now." Joker's grin widened, blood-streaked teeth glinting in the dim light. "Oh, I know it does, Bats, but let's make it special, shall we? Before you finish me off, I've got a gift for you." Batman's grip tightened. "I don't want anything from you." Joker chuckled, coughing as he leaned closer to Batman, his voice low and mocking. "Oh, but you do, Bats. You really, really do. Look in the sleigh. There's a gift. Just for you. It's what you've always wanted." Batman hesitated, his fists still trembling as Joker pointed weakly toward the sleigh's wreckage. There, buried beneath the debris, was a single, perfectly wrapped present. Unlike the bombs and traps Joker had used earlier, this one seemed different. The wrapping paper was simple, elegant, tied with a neat red bow. It didn't look like one of Joker's tricks. "You want it, don't you?" Joker's voice was a soft whisper now, full of temptation. "Go ahead, Bats, open it. It's my Christmas gift to you." Batman's mind raced. Every instinct told him not to trust Joker, but there was something about that box, something that gnawed at him, pulling him closer. Against his better judgment, Batman released Joker, shoving him backward toward the ledge of the building. The clown prince of crime stumbled, laughing as he nearly toppled over the edge. "Oh, come on, Bats. Where's your holiday spirit?" Batman ignored the taunt, stepping over the wreckage toward the gift. The snow continued to fall, each flake landing softly on the red bow. His gloved hand reached out, hesitating for a brief moment before pulling the ribbon free. Slowly, he opened the box, his heartbeat thundering in his ears. Inside was something unexpected. A small, delicate object, a photo. Batman froze, his eyes widening as he looked at the picture. It was of his parents, Thomas and Martha Wayne, taken on a Christmas Eve long ago before the world had turned cold and dark. For a split second, Bruce Wayne, the man behind the mask, felt something stir inside him. A memory of happier times, a fleeting glimpse of what could have been. His gloved fingers brushed the edges of the photo, but that moment of vulnerability was all Joker needed. Before Batman could react, Joker lunged at him, plunging a knife deep into his side. The blade tore through the armor, cutting into flesh with a sickening twist. Batman gasped, his breath caught in his throat as pain surged through him. His hands dropped the photo, blood splattering onto it as it fell to the snow. Joker cackled, his eyes wild with glee. "You should have known better, Bats, but that's the thing about Christmas. It always comes with surprises." He twisted the knife again, harder this time, savoring the moment as Batman's strength began to falter. The Dark Knight staggered back, clutching his wound, his vision blurring as the world around him seemed to close in. Batman dropped to his knees, the snow around him turning red. His breath came in shallow, ragged gasps as he looked up at Joker, who stood over him, triumphant. "You know," Joker said, crouching down beside Batman, his voice soft and almost pitying. "I always wondered what it would be like to watch Gotham's greatest hero fall. And now I get to see it. Merry Christmas, Batsy." Batman, struggling to stay conscious, managed to lift his head, his gaze shifting toward the city skyline. That's when he saw it, the bombs. One after another, they began to detonate, lighting up Gotham in a series of fiery explosions. The destruction rippled through the city, buildings crumbling, fires spreading in every direction. Joker's laughter filled the air, high-pitched and hysterical, as he watched his plan come to fruition. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, isn't it beautiful, Bats? The city burns, and you, the mighty Batman, get to watch it all happen. Isn't it poetic? Batman's body weakened, his hands slipping from the wound as he collapsed onto the snow. The sounds of the bombs, the laughter, the chaos. It all began to fade as darkness crept in. He crawled, inching closer to the edge of the building, his hand outstretched toward the city he had sworn to protect. And then, everything went black. The world jolted back into focus with the sound of manic laughter. Joker's laughter. But this time, it wasn't coming from a rooftop or the burning streets of Gotham. It echoed through the cold, sterile halls of Arkham Asylum. Joker sat bolt upright in his cell, his eyes wide, his chest heaving with adrenaline. He blinked, momentarily disoriented, as the cold reality of his surroundings set in. The dim light of the asylum flickered above him, casting long shadows across the padded walls. For a moment, he just sat there, confused, trying to piece together what had just happened. Had it all been a dream? The sleigh, the bombs, Batman's death, it had felt so real. He could still feel the chill of the snow on his skin, the knife in his hand. But it wasn't real. None of it was. Joker's lips curled into a grin, followed by a low, soft chuckle that gradually grew louder and more maniacal. "A dream," he cackled, slapping his knee in hysterics. It was all just a dream. Oh, Batsy, you almost had me. But somewhere else in Gotham, someone else was waking up. In Wayne Manor, Bruce Wayne shot up in bed, drenched in sweat. His heart pounded in his chest, the remnants of the nightmare still clinging to his mind like a shadow. The image of Joker, the sleigh, the bombs, it had all been so vivid, so real. Bruce rubbed his eyes, trying to shake off the lingering sense of dread. What was it? A vision? A warning? He couldn't be sure. As he sat there, breathing heavily, he glanced out the window. Snow fell softly outside, covering the grounds of Wayne Manor in a peaceful blanket of white. It was Christmas morning, but Bruce couldn't shake the feeling that something was terribly wrong. And somewhere in the back of his mind, Joker's laughter still echoed.